Hello players, welcome back to the only tech channel that's brave enough to say cloud infrastructure and penis in the same sentence, without the venture capitalist trying to fund it. I am your tech jester Buzzstringer. Come on in, lock the door, pants off, VPN on, search history buried in a shallow grave behind the shed. We have a beautiful little buffet of tech madness. Kickstarter got scared of pleasure. Governments are looking at VPNs like they're teenage wizards sneaking into porn Hogwarts. Plex wants $750 from people whose media library definitely came from legitimate Blu-ray backups. Yes, absolutely, officer, backups. And Microsoft invented a system to undo the damage caused by Microsoft. Oh, and DuckDuckGo is suddenly looking sexy because Google search has become an AI-powered bloke in a pub confidently explaining, I don't know, giraffe dentistry. Even if you didn't ask for it. Let's begin with Kickstarter, who looked at the internet, the most horny machine humanity has ever built, and said, actually, could everyone please stop enjoying themselves? Kickstarter discovered sex and then immediately called the manager. Yeah, so Kickstarter recently introduced new mature content rules that, among other things, targeted rewards designed for sexual pleasure, which is a very funny phrase to see in a corporate policy document because it sounds like it was written by, I don't know, a Victorian ghost or something who died of seeing an ankle. Sexual pleasure is prohibited. Oh no, not pleasure, not on Kickstarter. Kickstarter is for wholesome things like board games with 4,000 stretch goals, novelty keyboards, and a man in Ohio asking for $80,000 to build a ceramic mug that connects to your Wi-Fi and insults your tea. Yeah, the lines seem to be, pleasure might be okay as long as the product isn't designed for insertion or penetration, which is bad news for my calendar. Tech jester in jest. I'll let you decide how that's spelled. Kickstarter has been here before. For years, adult creators, sex toy makers, spicy comics, erotic artists, and various brave people with more confidence than me to move the camera below the waist have had to deal with payment processors acting like the morality police wearing a spreadsheet as a condom. Kickstarter had previously become more welcoming to sexual wellness and mature creative projects, and then suddenly it looked like it's taken 3 steps backwards, tripped over a dildo, and accidentally landed in a church newsletter. Of course, the villain behind the curtain was apparently Stripe, because whenever something fun dies online, it's usually a payment processor, and it's usually Stripe. Kickstarter later said that the rule changes were mainly driven by Stripe's requirements, which means we didn't want to kill the horny vampire comic, but the money pipe got a little bit nervous. This is the modern internet, and it sucks. Not run by artists, not run by users, not even run by the platforms half the time. It's run by the card networks, app stores, and banks who look at an illustrated boob and go, my God, the economy is collapsing. Actually, it's getting bigger. That might be the problem. You can fund thousands of projects that produce plastic landfills shaped like dragons. You can fund a smart toaster that needs firmware updates and a Bluetooth dog collar that sends your pet's aura to the blockchain. But a consenting adult makes an erotic comment and suddenly every banker in a grey suit starts clutching pearls so hard that they turn into diamonds. And there's more to the story. After the backlash, Kickstarter rolled back the rules, which is good. But also, what a journey. They basically went, we support bold, boundary-pushing creators unless the boundary is a nipple, in which case, please report to the shame cube. Then a week later, actually, the community has spoken, and apparently you freaks really like nipples. Our mistake. Yeah, the corporate walk of shame. Messy hair, broken heels, but a great feeling. But they did say that Stripe can still suspend campaigns, so creators are not fully safe. They're just back in the old situation where Kickstarter says, we love your work, and Stripe says your work has made our compliance department sterile. And this is the deeper problem. It's not just about sex toys or adult comics, it's about who controls creative expression online, because if payment processors can decide what art gets funded, the future of culture is going to be whatever makes a bank lawyer's anus unclench. And bank lawyers do not have relaxed anuses. I've seen LinkedIn. I look forward to your comments. YouTube cares. Anyway, congratulations to Kickstarter for briefly banning pleasure and then discovering that the internet is in fact mainly built of pleasure, rage, and one guy struggling to use Linux who seems to have no pleasure. Speaking of pleasure being monitored by joyless institutions, let's move to age verification and VPNs. The European Parliamentary Research Service has warned that VPNs are being used to bypass age verification systems online. Oh, what a surprise. And they call that a loophole that needs closing, which is one of those phrases that sounds normal until you remember VPNs are also used by journalists, activists, businesses, remote workers, privacy-conscious users, and anyone who doesn't want their internet provider knowing why they Googled, "Why does the left one make jazz noises?" Governments want to protect children online. That's good. That's fine. Sensible goal. Nobody here is arguing that children should have unrestricted access to the internet's back alley. Although the rent is pretty cheap here. That's where you are right now. The internet is basically a clown car full of malware, porn, gambling, scams, and adults screaming at each other about video game frame rates. You gotta love Reddit. But the proposed solution seems to increasingly be make everybody prove who they are before using half the web. Great. Nothing says child safety like building a massive identity database that will absolutely never be hacked, misused, leaked, sold, subpoenaed, expanded, repurposed, or managed by a contractor named Data Munch Solutions operating out of a converted kebab shop. Yeah. Now, Mozilla, Molvad, Proton, Tor Project, EFF, ExpressVPN, Tutor, the Internet Society, and more, which I can't remember, signed a letter opposing broad UK verification plans, warning that these systems could weaken privacy, increase surveillance, and push the open web into a lockdown identity checkpoint situation. All of these companies and organizations, they are right to be worried, because once you build the prove your age to access this infrastructure, it never stops at porn. It starts with adult content, and then it's social media, then gaming, forums, and then controversial information. And then before you know it, you need a passport scan to watch a toilet humor YouTuber in a shiny jacket. And the funniest part is that all of these systems, they don't even work properly. The EU's own age verification app reportedly had security and privacy flaws shortly after release, including problems involving sensitive biometric images, so the face scans. Who would have thought they would have leaked immediately? That's amazing. They want to protect children by making adults upload ID to systems built with the structural integrity of underpants. The government approach to tech is always the same. They see a complicated social problem and go, could we solve this with a database and moral panic? No, you cannot. You cannot firewall puberty, Gerald. And now VPNs are in the crosshairs because, shockingly, if you create stupid restrictions, people usually find tools to route around it. That was prohibition. It's been true since the humans first invented rules. The first caveman probably said no fire after sundown, and the second caveman probably immediately invented a private cave network. There are even calls for VPN access itself to require age verification. So to protect your privacy, you must have to first surrender your privacy. This is the part where politicians say, but only criminals need anonymity. No, you're wrong. Normal people need privacy. Privacy is not suspicious. Privacy is why the bathroom has a door. It's why your smart TV doesn't need to know when you're crying into a family-sized lasagna. The internet doesn't need to become an airport security queue for your browser. But here we are. Governments are panicking. VPN companies are panicking. Privacy groups are screaming, and somewhere a teenager has already bypassed the whole thing and is having a good time. Okay, let's talk about Plex, the software used by totally innocent media collectors who definitely own all 47 terabytes of Linux ISOs. Plex has announced that the lifetime Plex Pass is going up from $249.99 to $749.99 on July 1st, 2026. $750 for Plex. And yes, existing lifetime members keep their benefits. Monthly and annual pricing stays the same for now, but the new lifetime users are about to get bent over the NAS enclosure and shown the true meaning of recurring revenue. Plex said it considered eliminating the lifetime option entirely because recurring subscriptions are better for long-term development. So instead of killing it, they priced it like a kidney with metadata. This is classic subscription era corporate behavior. We're not removing the thing you like, we're we're simply placing it on a very high shelf, guarded by wealth. The lifetime plan used to be $120 and then it jumped to $250 and now it's heading to $750. At the current annual price, that takes about 11 years to break even. 11 years. But Plex knows its user base. I mean, come on. Plex users are not normal streaming customers. Normal streaming customers go, oh no, Netflix removed my show. Plex users go, that's fine. I've archived every single copy in 4K with community tracks, Polish subtitles, and a poster I made myself after 3 hours of emotional collapse. Plex users are the kind of people who say, my server, with the same inflected tone that other people say, my children. And yes, plenty of people use Plex legally. They rip their own discs, they manage their personal collections, and build beautiful home media libraries from all legitimate sources. Good for all 12 of those. But let's not pretend that half the internet didn't hear this news and immediately whisper, I'll find another way. Yeah, there's something weird about Plex charging people more to access their own stuff. Streaming services already did this to us with the content they license. Pay us every month to watch shows that we might remove at any second, but Plex is more personal. It's your server, your files. Plex saying pay $750 for lifetime feels like your fridge charging you a subscription to open a door. Sorry, you appear to be trying to access the cheese. Please upgrade to Fridge Pass Premium. I get it. Software costs money, servers cost money, development costs money. I'm not saying Plex should run on good vibes and, I don't know, one unpaid intern named Clive, but $750 is such a comedy number in 2026, although give it a couple of years. And that might sound normal. It's just the kind of price that you announce when you want to stop people buying it altogether, but you just don't want to say it out loud. Some people will still pay it, because once you spent years building the ultimate home library, matching posters, fixing episode ordering, correcting metadata, and explaining to your family why they need to select the right audio track for Die Hard 2, you're in too deep. So let's see what happens. Now let's talk about Microsoft, the company that has finally created a system to remotely roll back bad drivers delivered through Windows updates. It's called Cloud Initiated Driver Recovery, or CIDR, because apparently the oopsie undo button didn't sound enterprise enough. This new Microsoft system lets you remotely roll back bad drivers to a known good version without user action or OEM intervention. It only works with drivers distributed through the Windows Update platform, and it's currently rolling out for validation and testing with broader support coming later this year. Which sounds good, it genuinely does. If a bad driver bricks your machine, breaks your GPU, kills Wi-Fi, or turns your laptop into a $1,200 paperweight with a glowing logo, automatic recovery is probably pretty useful. But also, I've had an idea. It's a little bit out there, so stay with me. How about, have Microsoft considered not yeeting broken drivers into millions of PCs in the first place? I know, it's radical. It's a dangerous idea, probably illegal in Redmond. This is Microsoft's entire loop. Break the thing, fix the thing, create a dashboard for the fix, put AI in the dashboard, rename the dashboard, break the dashboard. Windows Update is the only service where restart required feels like throwing down $1,000 on red or black. Green 0, it formatted the drive. Better luck next time. So this is Microsoft. We have created a tool to recover from bad updates. Great. Why are there so many bad updates? Please enjoy Copilot. No, I do not want Copilot. I want my Bluetooth headphones to stay connected and my printer to stop acting like it served in NARM. Cyan! Cyan! We're out of cyan! Windows Updates waits till the worst possible moment. You're about to join a meeting, render a video, prove to strangers on the internet that you know what you're doing. And Windows goes, now would be a good time to install a driver from 1973 for a device that you don't own. So CIDR is welcome. Good. Fine. But it feels like installing airbags because your car manufacturer keeps launching you in the garden centers. Microsoft has this incredible ability to solve problems Microsoft created with a straight face. We heard your feedback on Windows Update sometimes causes driver issues, so now we can remotely undo them. Lovely. I hear arsonists are also developing a hosepipe. Still, I'll give them this. If it works, it could save people a lot of pain. Bad drivers are miserable. Driver rollbacks are not something normal users typically understand. So yes, Microsoft, good job for building the parachutes, but now just please stop pushing people out of airplanes. And finally, Google search has become so aggressively AI flavored that people are running to DuckDuckGo like it's the last clean toilet at a music festival. After Google's latest search announcements at I/O, DuckDuckGo said US app installs jumped. The average installs were up 18.1% week over week during May 20th to May 25, peaking at 30.5%. On iOS, the average growth hit 33% with a peak of nearly 70%. And DuckDuckGo's AI-free search page also saw visits rise, averaging at 22.7% growth, with the duck peaking at 27.7%. For years, DuckDuckGo has been the search engine most people recommend in comment sections right before they say something about Linux, seed oils, or government lasers. But now it's getting a glow up because Google looked at the search box, the simplest, most useful thing on the internet, and said, what if we make this feel like being trapped in an elevator with a chatbot on cocaine? Google used to be type the question, get some links. That was a good deal. We like that deal. Now Google is type the question, receive an AI summary, 3 sponsored boxes, a shopping carousel, and a map that you didn't ask for. Google search is no longer a search engine. It's a bouncy castle full of shit that you're trying to dodge. Because this is the thing tech companies keep pretending to not understand. People don't hate AI existing. People hate having AI shoved into every gap of their digital life like expanding foam. DuckDuckGo even has AI tools, but the selling point is choice. You can use AI, or you can have an AI-free search page. That's it. That's the whole magic trick. Consent. A concept apparently so advanced that Silicon Valley needs a 12-week offsite and a beanbag committee to understand it. And Bill Gates still can't quite understand it, allegedly. Now, Google is absolutely still dominant. DuckDuckGo is around 2% of the US search market share. And while Google is still massive, this isn't a revolution yet. It's more like a few people escaped the factory and are now waving from a field. And Google is trying to become the answer layer for the entire internet. But if nobody clicks through, then the websites suffer. If the websites suffer, the web gets worse. If the web gets worse, then the AI has less good material to summarize, then the AI eats its own output until the whole thing becomes a slurry of confidently wrong nonsense, and it's the human centipede version of search. And on that elegant image, we end today's show. Oh, free tech tip. Instead of typing duckduckgo.com, you can just type duckgo.com, and that's the same amount of letters as Google. So there we go. Okay. So if you laughed at any point, we use the like button as a laugh button. We don't use it as a like button, we use it as a laugh button. We might use it as the say the right words button. Either way, most of my videos are very similar to this one, so if you like this one, then you may like some of the others. If you made it this far, you can comment with release the calendar, and I'll look forward to that. Let me know in the comments which story made you the angriest or horniest or most likely to delete Windows and live in the woods. And until next time, stay sexy and be excellent to each other. A friend of mine runs a charity. Volunteer work. Couldn't pay me to do it.